What is good? Happy afternoon, best ball fans. We are back in the daylight draft room. And as you can see on the board, we've already started this one. Get the 9 spot. We've been in like the 7 to 8, 9, 10 range. And there's her buddy Peanut Punch, always in the room. Love having him in the draft room with us. Just trying to get my mic adjusted here. Thanks for joining, guys. We're going to get the music going like we usually do. I was going to try something a little different today. I don't know how it'll sound, but let's just see what options we have here. Let's try this guy right here. We're on the clock. Let me just go to my quick ownership here. All right, we're gonna go Amon-Ra. I actually started a big gorilla on the FFPC, which is the redraft tournament for $1 million, and I'm doing it with my buddy Harry Snowman. We drew the 8 spot, and we actually went with Amon-Ra. I did a bit of research on him this morning, just to, I like to do a deep dive every time, especially in a slow draft. I like to go back, look at all the stats, look at all the latest news, make sure I'm up to date on everything on that player before I make that pick. I don't know if that's something you guys do, but let me know in the comments, in the chat. Get my windows up here. This was another kind of last minute jump in, and this thing had nobody in it. And all of a sudden, there we go. We got people in the chat. What's up? Forward Fab is in the house. And of course, my man, the Harry Snowman. Appreciate you, Rob. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure you'll watch the stream later on. All right, let's get our rankings up. Get a little set up here. What do we have? A-Chain, JT. Let me see where I'm at on ownership on these guys. I feel like I've been drafting from this spot so often that I'm actually going to go with A.J. Brown here. I don't have any A.J. Brown in this tournament, surprisingly enough. Yeah, that's exactly it, Rob. That's one thing I like about the slow drafts, especially with like the rookies, right? Like I'll do my rookie deep dives, but you get to a certain point where you feel comfortable, and then you get to a point in the draft where you need to go a little deeper. So it gives you that opportunity to kind of go back and look at these guys. All right, so we're in the 9 spot. We started off with a couple Browns. So I'll have to use the play on that in the maybe thumbnail when I create that after I'm done with the live stream. But we've got ASB and AJ Brown, and I was actually thinking Harry Snowman was wanted to go Amon-Ra there. I know Neighbors, BTJ, and Nakua are 2 guys that have been going ahead of ASB, but if you look at ASB, he's been the wide receiver for the past couple seasons. So let me get my desk up a little higher, a little more comfortable. Either my glasses are really dirty, which I think that's what it is. Let me just get the dirt off these things. So Peanut Punch got Neighbors, and I think he's got A-Chain there. I am completely blind without my glasses. Old man eyes. That's what they are. And these are not even like my regular glasses. These are glasses I have to wear when I'm actually working at my desk. They're just better for my screens and reading and all that fun stuff. The joys of getting old, people. The joys of getting old. Let me know what you think of this music we have in the background. It's not our usual house or hip hop. We're changing it up. It's a little more upbeat. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I had Mike Shopes, the voice of the Buffalo Bills, on a couple nights ago. Unfortunately, the echo situation is still a reality with my guests. I'm still working on that. I thought I had it fixed. That was the whole reason why I invited him on. But I listened back to it, and people in the comments were saying it's really not that bad, which I'm still going to fix it. But I'm just saying I would go back and watch that stream. A lot of value in that. Mike's he's a really sharp drafter. Let me see where I am with. I'm going to grab Davante Adams as my wide receiver 3 here. This is a start 3 receiver format, 2 running backs, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. It is PPR. So starting 3 receivers right now, we are the only team in the draft room that has the three receiver start. So I like leaning into a strength and differentiating myself from my league mates when it makes sense. And this is definitely a spot where, I mean, starting ASB, AJ Brown, and Davante Adams is pretty solid. Yes, I'm patting myself on the shoulder. Of course I am. Let me know what you think. Obviously, always love hearing the feedback from you guys. Just fixing my windows here so I can see everything. Harry Snowman loves the start. Thanks, brother. I'm going to get Rob on. Maybe once we finish this gorilla, we can jump on together and do like a draft board review. All right, let me just see where I'm at here. You know what? Let's lean into this Philly stack. We don't even, like, I don't even necessarily need to have the quarterback, to be honest. But I like stacking those two together. I feel like you're locking in at least one receiver position, if not. I just dropped actually a video on my TikTok. On my TikTok at what is it? What time is it now? Literally less than an hour ago. So make sure you're following me, Draft Room Baller, on TikTok. I'll be dropping it on my YouTube Shorts later on this evening, but it's on there right now, talking about the 504 in a BBT, where I've got a pretty filthy Philly stack. I was deciding between Hampton, I have quite a bit of. And I was looking at Jaden Daniels. But and I don't know, anytime I take a quarterback early, I feel like, you know, you get later in the draft and there's a bunch of them sitting there. Whereas receiver, I'm leaning into a strength. I already had 3. Now I've got 4 really strong receivers. And if you look at the rest of the board, I'm literally the only guy or gal who has 4 receivers. So I like leaning into a strength when I feel I have one or an advantage. And these tournaments, it never hurts to stack. I mean, especially a high-powering offense. Philly was number 5 last year in scoring in 2024. Yes, a lot of that came on the ground with Barkley, but that also helps those receivers. I mean, Davante had 8 touchdowns last year, which is his highest touchdown total, and he played the least games. I think he had 3 games he missed due to injuries. So, yeah, Hampton is usually where I go in that spot. Let me just see. All right, I'm going to go Chuba here. Actually, I'm going to go Laporta. Let's go Laporta here and lean into our stacks. We've got the Philly-Detroit stackage. I mean, if there's a Philly-Detroit game So one thing to remember with drafters is if you don't draft on there, there's no playoffs. So you're looking at 17-week total. So you're not as caring about that week 17, playoff week 15 to week 17. However, if you're kind of at the final table in that last week, or you're kind of one of those top positions and you do have a heavy stack in a high scoring game, it will kind of help you over the top. So it's not as significant, but I don't mind leaning into it. And if you look at my queue right now, I've got quite a bit of running backs, right? And not as many receivers as options. This is based on I believe these are my rankings that are there right now. So we might actually get our pick. Man, there it is. We get Chuba anyways, so that worked out perfect. So far we have Chuba Hubbard at running back, Amon-Ra, AJB, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, and Sam Laporta. So pretty solid start. We're really leaning into these receivers. They'll probably be a more top-heavy build. You are starting 3, but I won't necessarily have to go as deep. We do have a anchor tight end. So again, we could just build with a 2 tight end build here. Oh, that's what I was going to look at for Hampton. Yeah, I mean, I'm at 15% with Hampton, but I believe... Yeah, I'm at 15%. I mean, I could have easily smashed Hampton there, but I actually like what I have so far with this build. Solid 4 receivers. Let's look at, it's funny because Peanut Punch, actually Aaron went the opposite. So he's got the 2 receivers in Neighbors and Hill, and then he's smashing running back with A-Chain, Hampton, Henderson, and Montgomery. Definitely like that build. Strong start. So the 12 spot is pretty heavy receiver. He's got London, Evans, Rice, Olave, McMillan, and then Bowers. Dan and I, the overhyped sleeper, who also came on recently. Make sure you go check out that show. I think it was on Saturday where we did a live draft. Make sure you check it out. Dan Williamson is one of the sharpest guys I know in fantasy. I co-own high stakes teams with him. We do a lot of drafts together. And he came on to do a 125 buy-in with me on Saturday. But we actually made a trade today in our 500. We have a $500 Dynasty League that we share, one of them anyways. And we traded for Brock Bowers. It's a tight end premium, obviously. Our team is really stacked. And we sent our 102, the 202, and next year's first for Brock Bowers on this team. Just solidifying a stud at the tight end position. We're pretty stacked at all positions on that roster. Let me know what you think in the comments or in the chat about that trade. What's up, Joe? Appreciate you joining. Yeah, you know Joe. Dan is definitely one of the best. Best guys, one of my best friends, period. Definitely one of my best friends in fantasy, and just a sharp mind in all aspects of fantasy. You guys know him from the Player Profiler. So I think I'd take my favorite guy here in Caleb. Actually, I'm going to go Pollard. I'm going to go Pollard just because I have quite a bit of Caleb. Yeah, I'm at 20% on Caleb. Pollard, we don't have any. So I definitely want some Pollard. I think Pollard is solid. Rookie quarterback coming in. That team does have pretty decent weapons. So you got to think they're going to be scoring. We look at Pollard last year. I mean, Spears is definitely there. I don't know that they necessarily draft heavy at the RB position with all the needs they have on that team. But I definitely want some Pollard, some exposure to him. So he finished RB22 last year in 16 games. It was over 1,000 yards rushing, 260 attempts, 238 receiving yards, 41 receptions. Is pretty solid in PPR with 5 touchdowns. So you got to think with a rookie coming in that he's going to be leaned on, especially on that short passing game. He was RB8 in carries, RB9 in targets. Not the most efficient running back necessarily. He is pretty good with the breakaway runs as RB8. So he can give you those big spike games and plays. And look at that. We get Caleb back anyways. So you know what? I'm going to take Caleb here as my RB3. So it's more a structural thing. I prefer getting a rookie like Caleb as my RB3 or later as opposed to my RB2, because now at least I've got my 2 starters in Pollard and Hubbard. And then I'm going to add depth behind those 2 guys. Jamie, always appreciate you joining, brother. Don't worry about it. I know you got to work. Some of you got to work. Some of us are, jobless and doing live best ball drafts in the middle of the afternoon. It's just how life is, man, If you're not already on Drafters, guys, make sure you support the channel. Use my promo code. There's also a link streaming at the bottom of the screen there. It'll give you 100% back on your first deposit up to $100. So pretty legit deal that you get. And it definitely helps support the channel. Yeah, Joe's saying grab one of Ramondre Rashad later grade 0 RB build. I posted on X last night. I got in a BBT, the 125 buy-in on the FFPC, their Never Too Early tournament. I got Rashid in the 14th round, at the end of the 14th round. Like, I get that, Carr is maybe not playing this season, or maybe he's just trying to get traded or whatever it is. I don't care who the quarterback is. Rashid Shaheed was awesome last year when he was healthy. And as much as they brought in Brandon Cooks, I still think they're going to lean on Olave and Rashid. And I don't think we've seen what Rashid Shaheed really has yet. So hopefully they fix the quarterback position. Maybe Rodgers comes out of nowhere and joins them as a bridge quarterback. Or maybe they draft like a dart and he gets an early start and shows that he's ready for the NFL. But whatever the situation, to get a guy that was going in round 10 or 11 and at the end of round 14, I'm going to take that every time. All right, we're coming up on the clock here. I think you guys know where I'm going to go here with my first one. I'm going to take Goff here. I already have St. Brown and Laporta, so it'd be, he's sitting right there. As much as if you like Bo Nix, I get it. But Goff was awesome last year. I don't see much changing in that offense with Johnson leaving. Pretty sure he was QB7 last year for Goff. That's his first QB1 or top 10 anyways finish since 2018. His first, I guess his second and third season, he was a QB8 and QB9 fantasy points per game. Last year, giving us 19.8 points per game. And that's what I could have tried to do the Bo Nix and then get Ingram on the way back or Goff on the way back. But I feel like this solidifies my stack. I didn't have a quarterback yet. He was like the 9th quarterback off the board, so not like a huge value there, but a bit of value based on how he finished last year. Not minding this playlist. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. And it's pretty... today it's a really nice sunny day over here. I just went for a walk with the wife after lunch. It's about, what is it, 17, or not 17. It's about 12 degrees Celsius outside right now, so pretty decent. So we are definitely going to take Shaheed here. So far we've got Jared Goff at quarterback, Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, Caleb Johnson. We got Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Rashid Shaheed, and Sam Laporta at tight end. So pretty happy with the start so far. And if you were thinking of joining Drafters or getting on there to try it out, this tournament is a $10 buy-in. It's filling up really quickly. So let me just see where it's at. So there's about 2,007 or 800, about 2,800 spots left out of just under 14,000 entries. So it's towards the back end of it. They want to finish this, I believe, before the NFL draft. Forgot my Americano, man. Afternoon Americano. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, that feels good. Nice and hot. Nice and black. Nice and strong. Scroll this up a little bit so I can get more eyes on what's available. All right, let me just check between two guys to see where I'm at on exposure wise. I know where I want to go, but I have a feeling I have a lot of one guy. Yeah. You know what? Let's go with Jaden Higgins here. Thought I had more of him, but in this tournament, I could go with a bit more. There's another guy I was looking at there who will probably be gone by the time he gets back to me, but we'll see. If he makes it back, I will be extremely happy. If not, we just go somewhere else. But we didn't have any rookies yet on the receiver side of things, so we're pretty solid with our first 5. I want to add some upside in the depth department. I was looking at Keon Coleman there. That's the other spot I was going to go. I mean, he could break out nicely this year. It's basically him and Shakir right now in that receiving core with Josh Palmer. We'll see what they do in the draft, but you know they like to spread the ball around out there in Buffalo. I'm going to go Tootin here. Get some more of that upside rookie running back action. So we've got Hubbard, Pollard, and a couple rookies in Caleb and Tootin. That's hilarious. Are you saying you want to change? I can change the channel, Joe. I'm fine with it. I'm not really feeling this one, to be honest. All right, let's switch it up here. What's this thing? This might be a little too soft for us. All right, let's try this. This one I've never actually tried. There you go. Little indie pop. What do you think? Yeah, Joe's asking about Cooper. I mean, I think it's probably going to be after the draft, right? Once teams navigate through the rookie draft, if they're not able to get necessarily the guys they want, or the they don't hit on the positions they necessarily need, you'll see guys like Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. You'll start seeing those guys coming off the board, getting picked up by some of these teams, and you'll see like it'll be either young teams that are looking for guys to come in and help their younger receivers, or it'll be contenders that are just trying to fill depth and add some experience to the build. So Cooper can definitely be a sneaky play. So here's the build so far, guys. Goff at quarterback, Hubbard, Pollard, Caleb Johnson, Tootin, Amon-Ra, AJB, Adams, Devontae, Shaheed, Higgins, and Laporta at tight end. Oh, man. Decisions. Do we stack the quarterback, or do we go with the rookie that we were hoping would make it back to us? You know what? There's still a lot of rookies left. Let's lock in Cam Ward. We've got him stacked with Pollard, at least. That opens up another stack that I want to work on later. And as much as I like Dylan Sampson, I do have some shares. It opens it up for me to grab other rookie running backs that I maybe don't have as much of. All right, I'm going to go with Giddens here. So again, just adding that rookie upside to our running back room. We have our two studs who we're going to lean on. And then you hope one of these three guys either gets into a favorable role earlier, and then, or you lean on these guys later in the season. we're pretty much done at quarterback. I mean, Ward is most likely going to start. We could add a third if something really falls to us, because we are pretty solid at receiver. We're most likely going to do a 2 tight end build. We'll see. We'll see what happens. To be honest, with this build right now, we're not really desperate anywhere. So it just depends on what falls to us, what kind of stacking opportunities we have, or how to balance out the position. So, like, for example, our running back room right now is 2 vets with 3 rookies. So we really want to add either a vet for some depth, or keep smashing the rookies and, you know, just basically swing for home runs at this point. But we also know that running back, you know, you're going to deal with some injuries. So we're in round 15 right now. Let me get this down a bit so we... Why is this not going down? Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Let me just see what's coming up. I think I know where I'm going to go here. All right. I'm actually going to go with Braylon Allen. I think that's kind of a perfect running back to go with this mix. And that's what I'm talking about. So we've got our 3 rookies in Caleb, Tootin, and Giddens. We've got our 2, you know, quote unquote stud running backs in Hubbard and Pollard. And then a guy like Allen, it adds depth. You already know where he's playing. If they move Brees, his ADP skyrockets. If there's an injury, he skyrockets. And if they do, for whatever reason, want to have more of a committee in New York, kind of like what they're talking about, he's going to be a big part of that. So I like adding a guy like Braylon Allen to a build like this. So running back room is pretty solid right now. I don't know that we necessarily have to add anything, but again, we'll see how the draft falls to us. Ooh, I like this. Let me just check my ownership on... All right. I'm going to go with the Canadian, Ayamanor. Again, adding you're like, I'm taking swings at this point with this build, because we went pretty top heavy with the 2 Browns, Adams, Devontae Smith, and Shaheed. I mean, our 3 receiving spots should be locked in every week. So we really want to try to hit home runs with these later guys at the position with Higgins and Ayamanor. And it's just a matter of picking either your favorite rookie or a rookie that you maybe don't have a lot of ownership yet that you want to add to your portfolio. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. There's another rookie that I like later. I mean, there's a few rookies that I like as we scroll down here. And Peanut Punch, of course, takes Besh. Again, a nice piece that you want to add. Besh, I mean, he's got size. He could easily start right away on an NFL team, depending on where he lands. But we're not necessarily looking for that with this build, right? We already have our guys for the beginning of the year. We're looking kind of second half, back half of the season is what we're looking for with regards to, you know, the Higgins, the Ayamanors. Now, if I had started with like a Tet, or I had some of these like Goldens and had spent a bit more capital on those higher end rookie receivers, then maybe I'm, you know, looking for more like a Besh type of player that maybe could start earlier in the season, or I'm going for some of these vet, you know, late round receiving options. So let me know what you think of the build so far, guys. If you're watching right now, let me know in the comments. If you're watching this later on, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That really helps. I do at least 3 live drafts a week. We are attempting to bring on guests. We've had Mike Shope on. We've had Dan Williamson from the Player Profiler, Mike Shope from ADP Chasing. Again, apologies for the minor echo issue. There's some kind of buffering issue between the software I'm using and the hardware I'm using. So I'm hoping to have that resolved this week. And then next week we can start hammering the guests back on. And that's what we're going to do all off season. The whole point of this channel, guys, is to help you guys become better drafters. Of course, Peanut Punch goes with the snipe. I had a feeling he was going to snipe me on that. So what we're going to do instead all right, let's lean in. We already have Shaheed. Yeah, let's take Johnson here. Not a guy I'm drafting a lot of, and I think because of I don't have a lot of them. So let's add Shaheed or Johnson to Laporta here. We're really looking for bye week fill in, or if he misses like a week or two. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much the next guy in my rankings anyways. Obviously, we were looking for Okonkwo to go with our ward, but when you got a guy like Aaron Peanut Punch in the room, you can expect to get sniped. That's kind of part of the deal. As much as we love him, I know he's probably going to snipe me. All right, so let's look at what we're at so far. We've got Goff and Ward at quarterback, Hubbard, Pollard, Caleb, Tootin, Giddin, and Braylon Allen. We've got Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Shaheed Higgins, Aya Manor, and then Laporta and Juwan Johnson. I saw something that was interesting. Oh, because he got taken. That's why. So with a build like this, you know what? Let's go Slayton. Again, he has those spike weeks. He doesn't really fit with, Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he fits with our like Philly divisional stack, I guess you could say. Actually, that's not a bad thing. You've got the Giants and Philly in the same division. So usually if we don't have the schedule out and there's no playoff necessarily, I'll try to sometimes get a divisional stack going. So Slayton kind of rounds off our receivers nicely. We've got 2 picks left. Trying to see what's... Apologies, got a call coming in. Forgot to put the do not disturb on. Where is that thing? There we go. There we go. Do not disturb, man. We're disturbing for big money. I mean, we're drafting for big money here. All right. So we're pretty good. 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 8 receivers, which is pretty. I mean, it's solid. Our receiver build is really solid. Even our running back room is pretty solid. Let's see what we can do here. There's really no point. We could go upside. You know what? Let's add a Fannin. Let's get Fannin in just because our tight end 2 is kind of iffy. If I had, you know, maybe a more solid tight end, then I'm probably just gonna go with the 2 tight end build. Like if I had Okonkwo, I would have probably just left it. Juwan Johnson, I mean, I'll look up his numbers after. Let me get this set up for you guys here. Sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. And all right, let's see if there's anything else. If not, we'll just take Flacco just to get kind of some. I don't love. You know what? Let's go Cooper. We talked about Amari Cooper. Let's take Cooper. Add another receiver. It is start 3 receivers. I'm content with my quarterbacks with Goff and Ward. I don't necessarily need to add a third one. We already added a third tight end, which we weren't necessarily planning on, but I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I think that's the right move. I think that's the right move because at tight end, you're going to have more variance with regards to production. These guys don't score necessarily super high points, even though we love Laporta as a stud. If you look at him last year, actually, I was going to see if there's another one filling here. We might do a double header. Let me just see what... You know what? Let's sign up for this, and we might do a double header. So if you're watching right now and you want to jump in, there are 2, 4, 6 spots left in the next $10 buy-in on Drafters. Joe, if you're still there, jump in, brother. We'll do a back-to-back. I haven't done one of those yet on the channel. So we've got Hubbard, Pollard, or well, let me start this over. So we've got Goff and Ward. We've got Hubbard, Pollard, Caleb, Tootin, Giddens, Allen. Receivers are Brown, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Shaheed, Higgins, Ayamanor, Slayton, Cooper, and then Laporta, Juwan Johnson, and Fannin. So 4 spots left if you guys want to jump in to the next draft. Oh, wow. I just realized I'm missing all your... Guys, I apologize in the chat. For some reason, I wasn't seeing... Nice. The white bird is in. Joe Carlton is there. And the white bird, that's why I took Amari Cooper there, because I've never seen him still available in the last round. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jamie, I like Theo Johnson quite a bit. I actually bought him in Dynasty and Tight End Premium. I think he's going pretty cheap right now, to be honest, especially in Tight End Premium. He's like a good Tight End 2, Tight End 3, depending on what your build looks like. So 2 spots left in that draft. Let's look at Theo Johnson last year. Especially the back end. I feel like at the end of the season, he kind of carried some of my desperate tight end spots. Yeah, I gave you like a tight end 6 production in week 9 against Washington with 14 points. Gave you 10 points in week 13 against Dallas, and then he got injured. So, all right, let's get ready. Let's see what the All right, 2 spots left. Joe, what do you need a link for? I don't know what link you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else in the chat. Let's get a different playlist going for this one. Let's see what we got here. Do you guys want house, hip hop, drum and bass? They got hype tracks. I don't know what those are. That sounds interesting. We might have to try the hype tracks. Chill step, ambient. Joe, man, I still have this echo issue, so that's why I'm gonna chill on the guests. Even with Mike Shope, like him and I are buddies. We were just chatting, and he was like, "Oh, I wish I was in the draft with you tonight in the Superflex, never too early." So I was like, "Oh, dude, I just spent 2 hours with the wife last night fixing my echo issue. Should be good to go." And of course, I get him on. I get all pumped, promote the show, and unfortunately, we still have an echo for my guests. So for sure, get you back on, Joe, for sure. Actually, I'm on with Joe and the sports affiliation, I believe next Thursday. Opening night of the draft, I believe, right? The NFL draft? Pretty sure it's next Thursday night. So if you're not already subscribed to the sports affiliation, go look for it on YouTube. Joe's on there. JC's on there. See what this hype track's all about. All right. Get all hyped up for this back-to-back best ball draft, live drafts. Oh, a little funk. We got a little funk on this one. Is that at 7 p.m. Eastern, Joe, that I'm coming on next Thursday? If anyone wants to jump on with Joe during the NFL rookie draft, they're looking for 15, 20-minute guest appearances. And yes, I will be on for my show at 7 p.m. with Joe next Thursday night, the opening night of the draft. So if you guys are watching, you want to tune in. This is not sounding like a hype track. I don't know what's going on here. I wish I could just play my own music on these things, but unfortunately, the YouTube machine doesn't allow that. So I'm very, very limited with what I can play. Let me see what else we have here. There's certain artists, quote unquote, that you can follow that are safe to play during streams. And that's all I can use right now until I find a better option. All right, I'm not feeling this at all. I don't know about you guys, but go back to the tried and true. Does the chat room have a preference, hip hop or house? It's all instrumental, obviously. All right, we got one spot left till this thing fills. Let's play a little house, mix it up a bit. There we go. All right, let's go, people. Fill that room. One more spot, guys. If you're watching, you want to jump in, $10 buy-in. If you're not already on Drafters, use Draft Room Ballers promo code. Get 100% back on a $100 deposit. That's what's up. This is better. This is definitely better. Man, X Machine has been horrible. Oh, there we go. There we go. Posting it just on the X Machine. Let's go back to my... And we're back in the same spot. 8 and 9. That's all I've been getting. 8 and 9. 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 I mean, I'll draft from anywhere, but it's just, you know, it's kind of boring when you can't... When you're not in a different spot. You know, I like to mix up my builds, get different players. This just makes it like... It's all right. We will make this completely different. I wish they had like, you know, some kind of prize where Joe's complaining he's in the 3 spot. Come on, man. Come on, man. You can't complain about that. I'll take 3 again. I'm not caring, to be honest. I joke around about it, but I couldn't care less. All right, let's see who we're lighter on when it comes to these later. Number 1 owned, actually my 2 most owned players right now, or receivers, not players. Cedric Tillman and Rashid Shaheed. Let's go. Darius Slayton is up there. Jaden Higgins. Aya Manor, Tet. Jalen Royals. Jalen Noel. Got some Marvin Harrison, some Debo. CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee was falling out of value for a while there. He was kind of falling, bleeding into the second half of these drafts, so I was picking him up whenever I could. See what falls to us. It's like this group of like 5 or 6 receivers that I'm just going to be heavy on. It seems like it doesn't matter what platform that I'm drafting on. It's funny because the beginning of the offseason, I was always not in the 1 spot, but in the earlier to like early mid spots, and now I've just been 8, 9, and 10. Seems like my new home. There goes CeeDee. Peanut Punch is behind us this time, but on the wraparound, I'm sure he'll snipe us a couple times. Right, Aaron? Pretty sure out of these 3 that are available, Puka is the one I have the least of. Let's go Puka here. Because BTJ I was smashing for a while. Oh, actually, you know what? I could have taken BTJ there. On the platform, I have quite a bit of BTJ, but this specific tournament, I don't have as much. It's the 2 smaller ones that I have a lot of them. So I could have grabbed BTJ there, but I'm good starting with Puka. Honestly, like from Neighbors back to Thomas, like those 5 guys to me are all the same tier. They're pretty flat. I want to be even with all 5 of those guys. That's kind of how I'm approaching it. I don't know if you have your favorite. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Neighbors seems to be the guy that usually goes after Lamb and Jefferson. Bowers Gianti seems to be the 12-spot favorite combo. Aaron likes to mix it up. Gianti goes. Let's see where we're at here. Let's go McBride on this one. Yeah. Let's go McBride on that one. I have Kittle, McBride, Bowers, pretty much all in the same tier. Fantasy points per game, they're all in the 15 range. I don't mind the Henrys, the JTs, the A-Chains. But let's mix it up. I don't know. I feel like that's a boring start. The receiver running back starts are, I don't know. Maybe it's a psychological thing. I have no idea. Yeah, Joe likes Aaron's peanut punch start with Bowers and AJ Brown. That's definitely a nice start. It's hard to not start with your first two, like with a nice start, you know. I mean, CMC is really probably the guy I'm the lightest on ownership wise. Definitely better with the beats right now. Getting an invite for poker tomorrow night. What's up? What's up, Joe? Got the invite for poker tomorrow night. Let's see what time it's at. I wouldn't mind doing that. I haven't played poker in a while. Joe's a poker phenom. Joe Carlton in the chat. Phenom. He sends me pictures of his chip stacks when he's at the tables. This guy's making some nice dough when he hits the casinos, which good for him, man. That's awesome. The good old days. I used to take drives to Niagara back in the day, but now an hour and a half drive there and back. Especially with the time I got to make it out there, and it ends up being such a late night. I'm not coming back till like the morning most of the time if I do that, and I'm getting too old for that, man. So if I get a local game invite, I'm going. All right. So we've got Puka, McBride. Pretty chalk. I mean, nobody's got anything too crazy to start. Joe's got Gibbs, McConkey, DJ Moore. That's a pretty sexy start right there. All right, so we have no Josh Allen in this tournament. We can't let that happen. So let's go Josh Allen here. Lamar, like if I'm picking in a vacuum, Lamar is my QB1 normally, but I mean it's 1A, 1B to be honest for me. So let's switch it up, get something different going for this build. Go early quarterback. This is what I'm talking about. Look at the accounting. I don't know if you want the IRS to see this, but Joe is just stacking the chips when he's at the poker table. So make sure he's not sitting across from you at the poker table if you're hitting the casinos these days anywhere near Joe. Joe's actually, I think, New England. I feel like that's right. Maine. Boston area, I think it is. I don't want to give away too much of his location, but Peanut Punch is following it up with the early quarterback, early tight end builds. So all right, let's lock up those Buffalo Bill touchdowns. We've got Allen and James Cook. I know people are worried about Cook. Touchdown regression, yada, yada, yada. Don't matter, man. They're going to sign him. Hopefully they sign him sooner rather than later, or give him the contract he wants. And last thing you want is for him to miss like the first week or two and then come back and get injured. So, but so far, rainbow start with Nakua, McBride, Josh Allen, and James Cook. We've already got a stack going. Love stacking my quarterbacks with running backs. Lock up those touchdowns, especially in a high-powering offense like the Bills. And that's the thing, right? It's my daughter started doing mixed martial arts. So that's 3 times a week now on top of her gymnastics. So between that, doing these shows, yeah, we'll see, Jamie. I'm not going to put your comments on the screen because I know people are watching. For me, it's whatever falls. Like, to be honest, when it comes to that, like I already have a stack, so if it falls and it works out, it makes sense. I'm all about the stacks. Hashtag always be stacking, but I'm not like necessarily planning ahead. You know, like I'm gonna stack this guy. I'm not gonna stack that guy. But all those guys are valid, right? Was hoping Metcalf would fall because I don't have a lot of him. All right, let's go Addison here. He's got like super spike weeks with his 38, 39 points last year. Was that him? Or am I getting mixed up with someone else? Hold on. Talking out of my ass here. Yeah, 30 points and then 39 in week 14. So he's got that spike week potential. Another guy who's got that is this guy, Juwan Jennings. Let me see what Joe's talking about. He's got Gibbs, McConkey, Moore, Odunze, Laporta. Yeah, it's a sweet divisional stack. I did a lot of divisional stacking on this platform last year. I did all right. Small profit on the site last year. My best tournament was actually one of those smaller $3 buy-ins. And I was in the top, I want to say top 5, top 6 for a chunk of weeks there in the middle of the season. And then was like in the 12 spot, 13 spot of the tournament going into the end of the tournament. And then just the last week just kind of killed me and finished in, I think, the 20s, early 20s, like 22nd or something like that. Yeah, and that's exactly it. Not too many guys in the 6th round that's going to do a 30 burger for you, right? Never mind Juwan Jennings with 46.5 in week 3 last year. You're not expecting that, but then he put up 28, 25. So he's got those serious spike weeks. Between him and Addison, Nakua's your locked-in wide receiver 1 spot, and then Addison, Jennings make a nice duo. If they can alternate spike weeks, especially. So I don't think he makes it back to me, Jamie, to answer your question, but we'll find other ways. So far we've got Josh Allen, James Cook, Puka Nacua, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, McBride, and we are definitely... See, this is what I mean, Jamie. Sometimes it just falls to you, man. Give me some Shakir all day here as my wide receiver 4 with the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, James Cook stackage. And it's funny, Shakir was a guy, he's not sexy. I don't know if it's the name. I don't know if it's like, you know, the role he plays or what. But if you look at what he did, man, last year. So fantasy points per game, wide receiver 33, nothing crazy. 100 targets in 15 games, 76 receptions, 821 receiving yards. Took a dip in his yards per reception, went from like 15, 16 to 10. Only 4 touchdowns because you got Josh Allen and Cooks who were basically, you know, hogging those touchdowns last year. But like yards after catch, wide receiver 2 in the NFL is Shakir. 597 yards after the catch. I mean, that's legit, man. Target separation, wide receiver 7. Route win rate, wide receiver 10. So I'm actually going to take Ayuk here. Ayuk and Jennings just play perfectly together. Again, it's kind of like I was explaining, like that bridge quarterback. You can do the same with all his other positions, right? So Ayuk doesn't start the season necessarily. And if he does, maybe he's slow to start. You've got Juwan Jennings there who can kind of pick that up. And then Ayuk takes over for the second half of that. So between Addison, Jennings, and Ayuk, I feel like I've got like a solid maybe wide receiver 3. Shakir plays into that wide receiver 2 with those guys. Like between those 4, I probably have my 2 and 3 there. And then Nacua, obviously the locked-in 1. So pretty happy with the receiving room so far. Now we can start looking at other positions. We've got our stud anchor tight end in McBride. We've got our stud in Allen. James Cook is our anchor running back. So pretty solid build so far all around. We're not desperate at any position. You might think, oh, wow, you got one running back. But not worried, man. The running back position is nice and deep. Yeah, Joe, sometimes you can play the same offense. It's not really necessarily only stacking, but you're also playing the different segments of the season, right, with some of these guys. And look, if they end up both playing and they're both rocking in that offense the same week, then even better, right? Ooh, that Americano is hitting nice right now. It's at the perfect temperature. I need it hot, but it gets to a certain temperature where it's just perfect. Gives a nice little tickle in the back of the throat, just the way I like it. Tyrone Tracy's a guy I just don't have a lot of. I don't think I have any. I'm not going to lie. Maybe that's a mistake on my part. I have 0 shares in this tournament right now. And there, Joe takes him. I like it. Some dirty, dirty house. Just the way I like it. So, this is easily Ramondre for me here. Divisional stack with Buffalo, which is just beautiful. Didn't reach for it. What is that? Pick one, like 108, 107. His ADP is 93. I like that. I know people are worried about the draft and deep running back room or class and all that fun stuff, but end of the day, man, there's something to be said with you. You got a second-year quarterback. They know what to expect from Ramondre. I don't know that they're going to spend early at the running back position, New England. I actually like Ramondre for this year. I think they lean on him quite a bit. Peanut Punch takes my favorite rookie tight end in Loveland in this draft. Cam Scatabo, perfect RB3 in this build. I heard from, I think it was Matt Kelly talking about how he's like a snob or something, or he's like a diva running back, which is hilarious because usually the receivers are divas. But I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know much about it. Personally, I know he's a running back that the NFL is going to like or do like. So he should be a solid kind of upside play in best ball right now, especially if he lands nicely. But I just found that funny when Matt was talking about him being a diva. Usually the rookies, from what I've seen, like in interviews and stuff, they're pretty humble. You know, they're like, oh, I'll play for any team. I just feel blessed to be here, like all that stuff, you know? So to hear that this guy is a bit of a diva is hilarious. I'll have to look up like some interviews or something, do a bit of a YouTube dive on it just to see what exactly he sounds like. But sometimes guys are just what's the word I'm looking for, misunderstood, you know, kind of like Shador. Some guys don't like Shador. He rubs them the wrong way. Other guys think it's just, you know, a confidence thing. Matt is a diva. I like Matt, man. He's a good guy. He's definitely a good guy. He's been very supportive, and I work with him on a couple things, so I'm a big fan of Matt and what he does over there at Player Profiler. Obviously, we joined them with the GOAT District for some period of time last season. I have nothing but good things to say about Matt and the crew over there, for that matter. Guys, if you're still watching, still enjoying the stream, make sure you smash the like button. Help support the show. And the subscribe. You know what? We're going to do a double build, and I'm going to go with Kincaid. I think that's kind of sexy, Kincaid McBride. I mean, look, we all know that Kincaid was disappointing last season, right? Burned me on one of my Fantasy Pros builds. I joined the what is that? Oh man, first and 15. Is that what it is? First and 15 guys, who are awesome, by the way. I can't wait till they come back. But I did their kind of home league, which was a Fantasy Pros, and I did the Allen Kincaid stack, and I was sure that was gonna crush. Definitely didn't. All right. Let's see what we have here. I'm actually going to go Jerome Ford here. If we had another running back there, I probably would have went with a rookie. But I like Jerome Ford. Right now, he's literally the only running back on that Cleveland team. So he is the starter. They've kind of created a floor. I talked about this on previous shows by signing Flacco. So for a build like this, with what I have so far, I like the the Jerome Ford edition. So we've got Josh Allen at quarterback, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Scatabo, and Jerome Ford. We've got Nakua, Addison, Juwan Jennings, Shakir for the Buffalo stack, Ayuk, and then we've got Trey McBride and Kincaid. So we've got a 4-piece stack with Buffalo in Allen, Cook, Shakir, and Kincaid. See where Joe's at. Joe, who's in the chat watching right now, he's got Caleb Williams, Justin Herbert, pretty solid quarterback room. Gibbs, Montgomery stack with Tyrone Tracy and Bigsby. Receiver, he's got McConkey, DJ Moore, Odunze, Burden, Hollywood Brown. That's a sexy receiving room, not going to lie. And then he's got Laporta for the Detroit stack. Very nice build so far, Joe. I like it. So let's see what falls back to us here in the 13th round. We're not desperate at any position. Our tight ends are done. Quarterback is, I mean, we've got Allen. So we could, I could wait till the last round if I want to take my quarterback. Four-piece and a biscuit, as Jamie says. If you missed last night's Dynasty 6-pack with Jamie and Kyle and the gang over there, make sure you go check that out on YouTube. They do a deep dive into Dynasty. Last night they did rookie quarterbacks, I believe it was, Jamie. Make sure you go check that out, guys. I might have to lean into this Buffalo stack. They do spread the ball. Let's add Palmer. If I went a little farther. I don't think I have much Palmer, so I'm not mad at that at all. I know Peanut Punch is going to snipe the other guy I would have taken. Yeah, I have one share of Palmer so far, so I don't mind that. Whereas the other guy I was thinking about, I'm at like 15%. We'll let Peanut Punch have that one. Does he go Leggett? Or does he snipe me? What's Aaron going to do in the 12 spot? Let's see. Ooh, I don't mind that right, actually. So we're at 6 receivers, and he made it back to me. So I really like Jalen Noel. Yeah. All right, let's take Noel here. We're at 7 receivers, so we're pretty good at receiver. Pretty good at tight end. Probably just going to smash the running backs and then get our second quarterback. What do we have? 6 more picks? Yeah, 6 more picks. So might do a 7 or 8. Might do a 7-7 type of thing here. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I might do like a 7. Maybe we add another receiver in there. We'll see. Let's see what falls to us. Again, not too desperate at any position right now. Let's look at Aaron's team, Peanut Punch. He's got Jalen Hurts and Bryce Young. That's a pretty good pairing. Excuse me. Kamara, Trevion Henderson, Pollard, and Wright. So pretty solid, balanced running back room. A.J. Brown, Harrison, and Egbuka, Thielen, Allen, and Higgins. Jaden Higgins, and then Bowers and Loveland. I like that combo at tight end. Aaron's a beast, man. Peanut punch. If you're in a draft room, you're going to see a peanut punch somewhere in there. Yeah, so Jamie and the crew over there at Dynasty Six Pack did a rookie QB and a 2-round mock. Make sure you go check that out. Support them. Joe, man, I'm glad you're enjoying these. That's the whole point of this, is just to be fun, but at the same time, help each other, learn off each other. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing some serious guests, some sharp minds. We already started. We had Dan Williamson from Player Profiler. We had Mike Shope from ADP Chasing on so far. I'm going to keep bringing in the heavy hitters. And I just do a shit ton of drafts. So I just figure, you know what, let's have fun and get some streams going. Glad you're enjoying them, man. If you guys are enjoying it, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. So I know I just grabbed this guy, but he fits too nicely in this build. We've got the Buffalo. What division is that? AFC North? Correct me if I'm wrong. East or North? I think it's North. I might be wrong on that one. But we go back-to-back of Braylon Allen. Not a guy I've been really drafting a lot of. So, yeah, my first share in the last draft. So that's perfect. Little divisional stack action. Again, I think Peanut Punch will be sniping me on this one. Let's see what he ends up with. He did not. All right, let's see if my guy makes it back to me. Joe, I might have some news on that. We'll stay tuned. But always appreciate Joe, man. Joe's a long-time faithful of the GOAT District, and I appreciate that. Make sure you go follow the sport affiliation. So, where was I going? Oh, Damian Martinez is where I was going. Let me just make sure there's nothing else here that I like. Yeah. Let's go Damian Martinez. Solid runner. Maybe more of a two-down back, but again, if he lands right, gets an opportunity, all you want from these rookie running backs is opportunity, right? So running back room is James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Scattaboo, Ford, Braylon Allen, and Damian Martinez. So a nice mix there, a nice even mix. Josh Allen at quarterback. Receivers are Puka Nacua, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Shakir, Ayuk, Palmer, and Noel. And then McBride and Kincaid are the tag team tight ends. Yeah, I thought of Eckler there, Joe. That's a pretty good pick in the 16th round. I mean, even though you think Debo goes there and steals some of his action, I think that's a nice ad at that point. Good value. I was surprised to see him there. Let me see what his ADP is. His ADP is 182. Yeah, that's good value. I don't have much of him. My ADP on him is 187, so you got him even better than that, I think. 98, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you got him at like a 190. So that's nice value. There we go. All right, let's go Ollie Gordon here. Add to that running back upside. Don't have much of him. Thought I actually had more. So I like that, especially, yeah, I mean, he kind of goes, what are we at? He goes like around the 195 mark, so that's a bit of value on him. Let's keep smashing the rookie running backs. Go Brashard Smith here. Jarquez Hunter, I feel like I have a lot of. I don't think I have a lot of Smith, though. No, see, that's my first share. So I like that. And then, what was I looking at? Jarquez Hunter. Yeah, not that much, but I do already have shares of him. So let's spread that around. And then there's a guy I'm hoping makes it back to me on the way back here. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't have a lot of B-Rob. It does nuke B-Rob if they do draft running back in the draft for Washington, which you would think they would, just because, I don't know, I had B-Rob last year in Dynasty, and he's someone I was drafting quite a bit, actually. I mean, maybe I just didn't notice, but I feel like he just wasn't living up to par, let's just say. Let's see what he did. So he finished RB28, gave you just under 800 yards, 187 attempts, so 4.3 yards per carry, 20 receptions, 8 touchdowns. So really, like, below average, you know? Considering the offense he was in, I feel like he could have given you more, you know? And if you look at kind of his week-to-week log, he gave you 19 points against Detroit in the playoffs. That was his second best production. His best production week 4, 20 points against Arizona. Otherwise, he didn't give you anything else over 20 points. Mostly in the mid-teens, 14, 13, 13, 17 week, 13 against Tennessee, 11 points. So he was all right, but I just felt like in that offense, the way they were firing last year, they had some pretty high-scoring games. You think he would have given you more in fantasy? So Jamie's saying that CBS, Matt Walden had Martinez as his RB4. Martinez is really liked by a lot of these guys that are doing the mocks. All right, I'm going to go to my quarterback here, Joe Flacco. I'm going to take Flacco. I've got Jerome Ford. So if Flacco does end up starting, he should fill my bye weeks nicely. I could have gone rookie with Shador, Rodgers. Rodgers isn't signed yet. I don't want to get a 0. I feel like Flacco has a higher chance. And then Sanders, we really have no idea. He could go to the Giants. Now there's more and more whispers of him going to the Giants. Sounds like the ownership is kind of stepping in now with... It's one of those, right? Like the coaches don't necessarily want to deal with Shador. Mostly his dad, you would think, right? Good old dad Sanders with the gray beard, you know, calling up the coach on the Monday morning. Hey, how come my son wasn't in there? So we so far have we're at 2 quarterbacks, 7 running backs, and 8 receivers. I don't hate Felton. Yeah, let's go Ty Felton. Little, swing for the fences kind of last pick. I saw Curtis Samuel there, but I think I've got enough on the stack here. So we've got Josh Allen and Joe Flacco, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Scatabo, Jerome Ford, Braylon Allen, Damian Martinez, Ollie Gordon, Brashard Smith. We've got Puka Nacua, Addison, Juwan Jennings, Khalil Shakir, Brandon Ayuk, Josh Palmer, Jalen Noel, Ty Felton, and then Trey McBride and Kincaid at I'm reading the chat here at tight end. So I like the build. Again, totally different than anything I've done so far. So I like mixing it up, especially considering we keep drawing the same spot. Let's look at Joe's. Joe's got Caleb and Justin at quarterback, Gibbs, Montgomery tag team, Tyron Tracy, Tank Bigsby, Rashad White, I've got quite a bit of, Eckler, Mostert, McConkey, DJ Moore, Odunze, Burden, Brown, Coker, and Franklin is a nice flyer at the end. Laporta, Komet, Johnson, and Conklin at tight end. I don't know that you necessarily needed that Conklin pick at tight end, but I definitely like your tight end room. And then Pita Punch, Aaron's got Hurts, Young, Kamara, Trevion, Pollard, Wright, Corum, Taj Brooks, and then A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Egbuka, Thielen, Allen, Higgins, Ayamanor, Mitchell, Horton. Troy Horton's a nice one there. Torrey Horton, sorry. And then Bowers, Loveland, and Okonkwo. Nice little trifecta at tight end. So, guys, this has been a blast, man. I appreciate you guys in the chat. Jamie, Joe. There was someone else that said they had made it. The White Rabbit. Is he in here? Oh, here we go. White Rabbit. Let's look at his team. He's got Trevor Lawrence, Penix, Breece Hall, Walker, Warren, Caleb, Robinson, Dobbins. A lot of receivers. BTJ, London, Evans, Olave, McMillan, Harris, Hopkins, Tolbert, Royals, Isaiah Bonds, and then Andrews, Pat Fryermuth. That's a nice build, actually. That's a pretty nice build. Nice and even. I like the 2 quarterback, 2 tight end build with a just stash of receivers. Well done, the White Rabbit. Appreciate all you guys joining, guys. Remember to smash the like, smash the subscribe. Always appreciate you guys joining. Let me know in the chat what you don't like, what you like. Always open to any criticism, any compliments, anything that supports the channel is always appreciated. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any streams, and we'll check you guys later. Have a happy afternoon. Cheers.